Oops. Check.
Brian Swanson's watching.
Are we rolling?
We are.
Woot, it works. I got from a KMax.
You did?
Oh,
I did.
Oh, I'm so excited. Lift Heavy Run Long number 183 has begun.
Finally.
My name is Wilson Horrell. I am one of your hosts. Turn my volume up?
Somebody said I can hear, but it's low.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Slightly. Turn that. Ish.
We're going to need you to turn your volume up at home.
I know, yeah. Turn your computer volume up.
I can hear. Okay.
All right, if we got one person here and we're good. I have sitting next to my right the most fabulous person in the world, my wife, Dr. Amanda Kimsey Horrell, Jack Dantan.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a long time since we've done this.
It has been.
We have clearly forgotten how to do it. And thanks to Vaughn and Swanson, we were able to get everything updated and working.
All right.
But we made sure you did the most walking through the process.
It's physical therapy.
Is that what we're going with?
That's probably the only physical therapy that I'd be willing to do. Would be for podcast purposes.
All right. Well, I'm glad we took the time to work that out.
I'm glad Amanda's taking the time to be here, considering that she's got to be at work in 2 hours, and then she will work till 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
You've got a jacked up schedule at the moment.
I do.
It is your last day, though, and you get 7 days off.
No, I got one more day.
2 more days? I thought you said
Tonight,
today was
tomorrow.
6.
Today's 6. Tomorrow will be day 7.
Oh, this coming.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Son of a...
I physically could not do it. I bet the Reverend could. Vaughn Rawls,
There's
he's here.
no way.
No way?
There's no way. I get anxiety walking into Kroger when there's 1 million people in there.
Oh, well, let's forget the pandemic for a second. Could you work 7 night shifts in a row?
And take 7 days off?
Yeah.
I would make that work.
If your job was as a web developer, you had to work from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. every day. Could you do that?
Could I work at home?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I could do that.
I couldn't. I just wouldn't be able to do it. I can't stay awake.
I can for moments of time.
Well, you have to sleep. I mean,
Yeah, but I can't. It doesn't matter how much sleep I get. I can't stay awake that late.
Okay.
I could do it. I think the
My.
7 days on, 7 days off thing is pretty appealing.
I know. I sleep pretty good when I get home. I mean, I go to sleep around 7:30 and don't get up till about 2.
She sleeps better when she gets home from this
Yeah.
than she does coming
She
home
finally-
from a
She
regular
finally wakes
day.
up at 2 when Wilson gets out of bed.
It turns out she sleeps exactly like my son Jackson does. He's 13.
Except for she's not up playing Xbox.
Right. Except she's saving lives versus.
Okay.
Big thirsty Brian Swanson.
Welcome to the socially distanced version of the
Yeah.
Lift Heavy Run Long podcast. I am not on the couch tonight to help us socially distance.
Being responsible.
We were trying to be responsible, but we are doing this for those that are stuck at home.
That's right.
That's right.
We are, I don't know what you would call that.
We are entertainers. We are here to entertain you while you are stuck at home.
But we made the conscious decision to not do the podcast so that we would conform to the suggestions of...
CDC and other smart people.
Right. Having no opinion on whether that's right or wrong, we just did things that way. I don't know. Well, maybe you do have a strong opinion.
No. My strong opinion is Doc over there said that we shouldn't be together, and so I listen to her because she's smarter than me.
I have just let Amanda dictate how I feel about the whole thing. So
Likewise. That goes for every aspect of my life.
I mean, if I know somebody that works as a professional in a hospital and sees this every day in real life, I don't. I just sit in my house all day.
Yep.
I don't know anything about anything. I'm not a doctor. I don't know crap. So if the doctor says, if I have a friend who's a doctor who says, yeah, sure, you need to stay home, it's probably best. That's what I'm going to do.
Hey,
I've felt that way about everything in my life since I met Amanda. When you have somebody who has their proverbial shit together, and keeps it together for almost 40 years, and you're someone who never, ever, ever has it together, then it's a good decision just to kind of follow that lead. And that's what I've done. And until she lets me down in that aspect, then I'll continue to do that. My dad's wife is named Deborah, and he likes to say that he can do whatever he wants to do. He just has to ask Deborah if he wants to do it or not. Right. And so she's the same way. She's got her stuff together, and he just follows her lead, and therefore we're just happy followers.
Well done.
So what's been the most exciting thing that you've done with your time?
Oh, man, I have a lot of answers to that.
Give me your biggest, most exciting, what's going to change your life in the most drastic way?
Oh, man.
I feel like I just put parameters on the question.
Yeah. Well, you
Just
do
tell me
that.
something.
That's okay. I put a Ring doorbell on my house, and I put 2 Nest thermostats in my house.
Welcome to the 21st century.
Right. And I fixed the air conditioner upstairs.
Wow.
That's man card worthy right there.
So it has a circuit board in there that was bad, and so I had to order a new one and replace that. My dad showed me how to do it once before, so I already knew how to do it. But
Nice. How did you determine the circuit board was bad?
my dad told me. So
He knew how to replace a circuit board, so if anything goes wrong with the air conditioner, he buys a circuit board.
Here's the thing. Like when your circuit board it sits in there, and when something's wrong with it, there's a little light on it that blinks, right?
Okay.
And it'll blink either one.
Oh yeah, it's a status
to
code.
5 times. It'll be, it's blinking 5 times. You go look in the manual, and it tells you what's wrong. You go fix that thing, and then your air conditioner works again. Well, this one was only blinking once, and my dad came over and helped me determine that was not the problem, right? It's blinking once. It's telling you that this is the problem, but my dad says this is not the problem. The circuit board's bad. So order a new circuit board. But my dad can't come over anymore during the pandemic, so I ordered the circuit board and replaced that thing by myself, which is a lot like a computer.
I was going to say,
So
in your IT experience, do you feel like that helped you be
Oh,
more
absolutely.
comfortable with swapping that thing out?
Absolutely, yeah. You look at it, and it's got wires plugged into it. It is like a motherboard looking type thing, and you just pull the things out and stick it back on. So
Very cool.
now we have air conditioning, and it's great because it's been out for almost 6 months or something. Like, we have 2 air conditioners, and this one's upstairs, right? And when it's not cold or hot, we're kind of like normal outside. You don't really need it at all. So
it's been a good time of year for it to be broken.
right. And so now it's not a good time for it to be broken. So I went ahead and fixed it.
It was 40 degrees out last night.
It's nice. When it's cold, it's fine up there. You can sleep.
We've got LHRL ambassadors that have snow on the ground outside their house.
I know,
Isn't
right?
that crazy?
That's wild.
It's weird for me in May to hear that.
Is that weird for them over there?
I don't know.
Is that an unusually long winter for people that live where they live?
That's probably like global warming. Somebody will make a thing about the pandemic.
It's somebody's fault.
It's Donald Trump.
Somebody's covering something up.
Donald Trump, probably. Or Fauci, Dr. Fauci.
I don't even know who Dr. Fauci is.
He works for Donald Trump. And
he's
Bill-
the-
Oh, I thought he was anti.
Actually, he works for Bill
He's-
Gates, but
He's the expert who bites his tongue while Trump is talking.
Okay. But he's like the big guy in charge of health, I'm assuming.
I don't know what his exact title is, but he's on Trump's advisory team for COVID.
Amanda, what's changed in your world? Have you enjoyed, well, I know you're in a different position than most people.
Nothing's really changed for me. We're just not going out to eat it of a night as much.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, nothing's changed at all. I'm kind of jealous of everybody who's had time off and they've done all these like nice renovations and stuff at their homes. So I'm like, well, I gotta go to work. So.
Yeah, I've been going to work every day.
yeah, I mean, I haven't stopped working at all. Like, when you see people saying, like, oh, God, I'm bored at home.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of like if you say, oh, God, I'm bored and tired of being at home, you're kind of like holding up a sign going,
I am non-essential.
like, I don't know what you're saying. Like, used to be a comedian who said, here's your sign or whatever. Like, but if you say that, like, go pick up instrument. Like I saw some lady was posting, well, my son doesn't have anything to do all day long. And I was like, go buy him a guitar and
Wilson,
show him YouTube or something. Like there's a million things you can do. You shouldn't be at home sitting on the couch going, I don't have anything to do.
Wilson, didn't you do a blog post about how I used to say if I only had time, I would do all the things, and now I have the time, and I'm still not doing any of the things?
I don't do anything any different. and I feel like I'm pretty aware of that as it is, but as a whole, like as a society, I think that we convince ourselves that, you know, if we had different things, we would be different. But at the end of the day, we're still us, regardless of the conditions. If we're naturally kind of a grumpy person, then this is just going to be a reason for us to be grumpy. And if we're a delightful person to be around, then in times of COVID, delightful people are still delightful. You know, I just think that it's further proof that wherever you go, there you are. And that this doesn't have
totally agree with that.
This doesn't have anything to do with my happiness. The government doesn't have anything to do with my happiness. No one is screwing me. No one is trying to, you know, push things under the rug so that I can't live a joyful and fruitful life. It's just either side of it, I just don't really understand. Just continue with what you've been given and do whatever you want to with it.
What's that saying? Something like, you know, life is only 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. You know, kind of, I'm sure I totally butchered that, but still.
I think you hit it.
Well,
the general thoughts there.
I will say that, so we don't have time anymore to like just go to Target or just go to the mall or just go eat at a restaurant or whatever we fill our time with normally. And so my wife has been like, well, we're here at home and we have time, go and fix the air conditioner or, you know, get that window replaced and let's do the lawn out front, you know, things that we wouldn't normally do because we would find something else to do. And I like it. You know, I think it's when you improve your environment around you that you live in, if it's less messy, if things are not broken and things are fixed, you know, it feels better. It just puts you in a better mood.
What about your fitness? Have you been staying active with any of that?
I think so. I mean, I put on the quarantine 15 like everybody else, I think, or like a lot of people are talking about. But, I mean, I ran a virtual lift heavy run long 10 miler the other day.
Crushed
that
it.
was fun.
Yeah.
That was
was a lot of fun.
Yeah, seriously, you, I don't know what kind of accolades we got on the page and stuff about that, but that was an awesome idea, and I think a lot of people bought into it. So,
I want to
kudos to you for putting that together.
Well, thank you. I was excited about it, and I want to do it again next year, and like try to do some sort of
during the next pandemic
prize or something. No, just do it again, whether there's whatever.
I'm just messing.
Well, it got me back into running, so thanks.
Well, there you go. You're welcome.
It did, because there's no reason to. I had been running quite a bit, and for the first time in a long time, like really, really enjoying running. And I've got a 2 mile route, I've got a 3.6 mile route, and I've got a like 5.8 mile route. And I pick one of those, and I do one of them just about every day, 5 times a week probably. And then the LHRL 10 miler was just that little bit of a reason that I needed to go a little bit further. And I did that. I started at like 1 p.m. on probably the hottest day of the year, and it was hot. But all of the sudden, the 6 mile route looked significantly shorter than it had in the past. So then I'm like, well, I'm going to forget the 2 mile route. I'm definitely doing the 3.6 every day, or most likely the 6. And then I had this knee surgery, which set me back. But it's nice to know that kind of the bug is there.
Yeah. And I've just been kind of like in this, what's wrong?
We're being told the volume's low again.
Oh.
Great to see them, but low whisper.
We can't stop
Okay.
now.
Go ahead.
I've been kind of like in a programming funk. Like, I don't want to do anything. Like, nothing really excites me about, like I want to do that workout, or I want to do Fran, or I want to do this and that. Just kind of like, just been focused on other things. And so I've just been running. Like, I'll go at lunch. I mapped out like a 1 mile loop. So my 7-year-old, my daughter is at home all day. and she doesn't do anything. She just watches TV because my wife is at work and I'm at home working. So it's not like anybody can just entertain her. So she watches TV all day. So at lunch, I have to check. She doesn't like being there by herself. Jackson's upstairs asleep, Neil, her brother. And so I'll run 1 mile up, stick my head in the door and go, Murphy, how you doing? She's like, I'm good. Watching My Little Pony. And then I'll run another mile and stick my head in the door and go, how's it going? You know, and then the other day I would row. I have a rower at home now, and I'll do that. Maybe I'll row 2K, run a mile or something like that. But it's all pretty much been cardio. I haven't done a lot of working out. I mean, I'm not really worried about it.
I haven't lifted weight at all. I haven't wanted to lift weight. I've just wanted to run. And whatever, as long as I've wanted to do something.
Yeah, I think the point is just to get up and move right now. You know, as long as you're every day trying to get up and go do something.
To the point of the 10-miler that you put on, Amanda did that 10-miler, and it was like she was scheduling all these things around getting that 10-miler in on Saturday. And I did it on Friday. And I knew I was going to do it on Friday because I had to work Saturday.
Oh, right.
And so Amanda's like, well, I'm going to do it on Saturday. I'm going to wake up at 3 in the morning and do it.
Yeah, because I have to work.
At work. And then, you know, that got busy. It's like, well, I'm going to do it Saturday night at 9 p.m. And I'm like, just do it Sunday. She's like, it's Saturday is the virtual 10-miler. And I'm like, what difference does it make? I did it Friday. She's like, it's got to be Saturday. But finally, she was able to look past it and do it on Sunday. And, you know, then all of a sudden, she does a run the day after that and then does another one like 2 days later before work at a pace that probably, I don't know when the last time you've done that kind of pace was.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's also kind of scary. I went the other night all by myself, and my glow belt went out like,
oh no,
probably maybe a quarter mile from the car. So I was running in the dark clothes.
That explains the pace.
At night. And Olive Branch needs to get their shit together and replace their light bulbs and their street lights because there was a lot of stretches of real darkness that I couldn't even see where my feet were and praying that there was no potholes or anything. And
oh, wow.
So, yeah, I was speeding up a little bit to those little neighborhoods and stuff where it was really dark. So, a little motivation to get done, get my 5 miles.
I ran the Can't Stop Endurance 5K virtually that Kevin Leathers, our friend, put on, and I had so much fun doing it. Like, I was like, man, we should do one of those. So we did.
Turned out really well. And I signed up for the Kevin Leathers virtual 4-miler that I think is maybe this weekend.
This Saturday, I think, or something like that.
And not even thinking about my knee thing. So I'm out on that. But what I really wanted to do, kind of, was the virtual, 1,000K across
100K.
100K.
I saw that, yeah.
Across Tennessee.
It's just cool how it keeps up with.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I think it is 1,000K.
It's 1,000K.
I apologize.
You've got,
I apologize.
It's a lot.
You've got till August, the end of August, to do it. But I didn't feel like I had better things to do with.
Why does it start over in Arkansas?
What?
I don't know. I saw that. I don't know.
I don't know anything about it.
It does. It starts like southwest of West Memphis. I don't know, like McKinley, Arkansas, or something like that.
I guess that's just the distance. It's a little further in Tennessee.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just funny.
I don't know.
So is that the distance across Tennessee? How is 1,000 kilometers?
That would be 622 miles, approximately, is 1,000K. So.
Well, that's probably why they started in Arkansas.
Probably.
Because if they didn't start in Arkansas, then you'd be like, it's not exactly 1,000.
And somebody would complain about it.
And you'd discount everybody's accomplishments.
Well, they actually charge
some dream crusher out there would tell somebody they didn't actually run 1,000K.
Yeah, you go around and take everybody's medal.
You had to pay for that one.
Have you sent out the certified letters for people that finish the virtual?
I haven't thought of anything to do.
There's nothing to do. It's a free virtual race. You're not supposed to send out anything.
I would like to.
Get your shit together, Rev.
What are you going to send out for
I
nothing?
don't know, like a sticker, or something.
You don't have to mail in. If you create something digital and let them figure it out.
Yeah.
Right.
You did create something digital. You created a virtual race. What else do they want?
I'm sorry. If you were going to go to any additional effort, there's no physical mailing. You could email them something
Right, that's
digital.
true.
They could download the completion certificate.
Yeah,
themselves.
that's all I'm saying. If you're going to do anything extra, which I think nobody in this room thinks you need to do anything extra.
No. I wasn't
That-
expecting anything.
That gets convoluted a lot of what is something simple to do. And they're like, well, we could just mail out stickers. Or we could just mail out T-shirts.
Well, who's gonna
and it's
pay
like,
for
that's a bitch. Mailing stuff is a bitch.
Mailing T-shirts is expensive. Mailing
It's
stickers,
expensive and it's a pain in the ass. And when you run...
And it was free.
It was free.
I know, but I really do think that, like, if I think about it over the next year and do it again, that I could probably get some company to pay for a
Something.
sticker
Yeah.
and mail and postage to mail a sticker to 30 people who did it.
I like the
You know.
commemorative quilt idea. Or a coin. Put your face on a coin and
One
send it to
lady-
everyone.
These are
They can collect-
original U.S. Mint coins
Vaughn
that were
coins
originally printed
With
in
my face on
1937.
What, like Von Nichols or something?
with Von Nichols.
Von Nickel.
We'll have Von.
That sounds like German money.
We send out a Von Nickel for every time you complete a virtual race. But here's the kicker: then we sell you the plaque to
Put the nickels in.
to commemorate
To display.
all of
Oh,
your.
right.
Yeah.
The official Von Nickel.
Only if the
Limited
nickel
time
has,
offer.
has Vaughn's O face on it. His O face that he puts in every picture.
That's like Disney, you do the dopey race and they have the big fancy frames at the end that you can purchase to display all your medals.
One lady that ran the race, her husband actually made them medals,
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
finisher medals, and they had a picture with the medals around their neck. And I thought that was really neat.
That isn't it for the LHRL Virtual?
Yeah, it said
Yeah, that's
LHRL
cool.
10 miler on the.
Wilson didn't do that for us.
But we did come out and cheer for you on the virtual race.
You did.
Yeah. How was that? Not too shabby. Me and the kids went out and cheered her on.
Yep.
She was just tickled to death. She was so excited. Just always so excited. Should have seen the look on her face.
Oh, my goodness.
It was great.
I was a guest on the Kevin Leathers podcast.
How'd
on
that
the
go?
Can't Stop Endurance podcast.
How was that?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah?
I really, really enjoyed it. It's weird.
Did you do that from home?
Yeah, did that from home at Skype, and it was, we had the usual technical difficulties and had to restart a couple of times, but it's weird because I look up to Kevin in a way, like, because he's always been kind of like a runner, like a extraordinaire, like since you hear his name all the time. He's like
Coach Kevin.
Coach Kevin. He's the
Yeah.
guy for St. Jude, and like,
Yeah, he runs the Heroes program for St. Jude.
yeah, I mean,
He's kind of a big deal.
And he's just a good guy.
And he's just a good guy. So when I was talking to him, it was like he's asking me these questions about things that I've done, and like my default is I don't think that anything I do is that big of a deal. But when you talk to somebody like that, and they're like asking you these questions, you're like, I was just like, wow, okay, maybe that is kind of a big deal. I never thought about it that way. You know what I mean? So it had a big impact on me having that conversation with him, and I'll be interested to listen to it when it comes out, which will be like a couple of weeks from now. I think he said like the end,
Very cool.
the end of May or something like that. But it was just weird to have. It's just cool, not weird at all. It was cool to have somebody that you look up to, thinking you're a big enough deal to have on their podcast, and thinks that some of the things that you've done are cool. So
Yeah.
that's the only way I know how to explain it. But
Have you picked up any cool podcasts since Have you listened to podcasts more since the
I have
quarantine?
not listened to one podcast since we started working remotely.
What about TV
Wow.
shows?
Yeah, I watch TV shows. Yeah.
Everybody watched Tiger King, I'm assuming.
Nope.
Good. Don't waste your life.
I've just never. I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy reality TV shows, especially when the point of the show was basically for you to laugh at these people's lives.
I watched the first couple episodes, I think, and there was an episode where this girl got her arm bit off by the thing, and then people are posting on Facebook about it. I was just like, I'm not going to do this. There's like way better things to watch on TV.
I mean, I could be watching.
Y'all talk about
I could be
whatever the hell
watching
you want
Schitt's
to.
Creek.
I've been sitting here for 8 weeks wanting to talk to y'all about Tiger King, and then y'all come in here and poo-poo it. Amanda poo-poos it, and we watched it like we were glued to the TV for 12 hours or however long the thing lasts.
What did you like about it?
All of it.
You liked every bit of it?
Every bit of it. It was great.
It's like a car wreck.
It was a great, wonderful, meth-induced redneck car.
Well, and so just to be like, I just don't enjoy like reality type documentaries or whatever you want to call that type of show. Like Carol used to watch all these crime shows like about real crimes that had happened.
Now we do that. Holly loves
and
those shows.
I never enjoyed those either. You know, I don't get into them. Not interested. I don't know. Just not my thing. So it's not. I'm not specifically excluding Tiger King. I just don't enjoy reality shows. So.
But that guy's crazy.
Wilson's not talking to me anymore.
I'm not talking to anyone else. That's all we got for tonight, folks.
I have been watching Schitt's Creek though.
Yes.
Isn't that good?
That's such.
I watch it
That
again.
is-
I can't. It's hard for me to get into comedies for some reason. Like I watch them, but I don't get like I gotta watch the next one and then end up doing this. But like if it's a different type of show that I like I don't know. I'm just weird that way.
I started watching. A friend of mine turned me on to the Dark Side of the Ring, which is, I don't know how many episodes it is. It's old professional wrestling, and it's stories about professional wrestlers, and it's well done, well put together, and there's some crazy stuff that goes on. It's a great show. It's not like what you would think. It's nuts, but y'all probably wouldn't like it.
I don't know. Westworld.
I don't know. Is Westworld? I thought that was like a hospital movie, like General Hospital,
No,
but apparently it's not.
it's a movie about artificial intelligence.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
it was
movie?
based on books.
A TV show. It's not a movie. Sorry.
Does it have like seasons?
Yes.
Yeah, it's in the third. It just wrapped up the third season.
Okay.
Season 3 was terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible, I don't think, but it was. It really the last couple episodes were like, not as. It's not as good as the first two seasons were so incredible, especially the first one, and this one was just not up to that par.
Ozark.
I haven't
Loved
watched
it.
Ozark yet.
You did? Okay,
Loved it.
we're back good.
Yeah, I haven't watched Ozark.
I don't get in. I haven't. I can't
No,
get into it. It's too dark and icky
It is
for
not
me.
Amanda quality stuff.
I don't like.
there.
I don't like all that.
I watched Better Call Saul. I binged that and a show called Devs.
You talking about devs? I restarted *Halt and Catch Fire*
Oh, man,
Yesterday.
I forgot about that.
because I only ever watched the first season, and the other seasons weren't on Netflix, and now there's like 4 seasons on Netflix. So
I need to go back and revisit that one.
yeah,
For sure.
Is the city open back up to like people have free reign to do whatever they want as
No.
of today?
It's
the city of Memphis is not. No,
Is the city of Olive Branch?
I don't know.
Is that a city thing or a
we
state
have-
thing?
It's
City.
a
Yes.
state. Yes. I think the city can make its own rules if they want. But Mississippi's been going by the governor. And so the governor was going to keep us shut down for a little while now. But he came out this Friday and said Monday, gyms and barbershops, salons, everybody else can just open up. And so with these restrictions, I just know about the gyms. I don't know about the barbershops. I'm not going to get my hair cut. But the gym has to have, you have to operate at 50% capacity. So you can only have a certain number of people in there, which we don't ever. We have a 6,000 square foot facility and like
Yeah.
5 people in class.
What is the capacity of that place? It's got to be.
I wanted to say it was like 500 per 3,000 square feet or something.
Oh, yeah,
Or
okay.
100 per 3,000 square feet.
Yep.
And we could have 200 people in there at the same time and still be at like
Well, I'm going to stay home so other people can use it.
right. But the coach
So selfless.
It said the coach has to wear a mask and gloves, change the gloves every hour. There has to be sanitizer at the door when people come in. You have to hire an additional coach, not a coach, but
Are these recommendations or are these requirements?
from what I understand, they're requirements.
Because the city of Memphis, like, they're in their phase 1 reopening, and their guidelines, and I'm air quoting right now, for returning to the office says every employee must wear a mask. You must I can't remember exactly how they word it. Basically, you have to take people's temperatures at the
Right.
door and check for symptoms before you allow them into the office. No shared equipment. If people have to sit closer than 6 feet than each other, then you have to install plexiglass in between them. And like,
Nobody's
but
doing
but
that.
no. I mean, it's not a requirement. It's the guideline for
Right.
if you want to keep
Well-
everybody safe. Here's what you have to do.
Let's go. I'll go back to the deferring to Amanda on whether or not I should stay home. Right. If Amanda says go out and do whatever, that's fine. I'll do that. I'm here doing this podcast. If Amanda said it was a bad idea, I wouldn't have been here. My lawyer says you can't open the gym. I'm just like, okay, if the lawyer says open the gym and don't worry about all that crap, then we would open the gym and not worry about all that crap. But if the lawyer says you got to worry about that crap, we got to worry about that crap, and I don't. That's just how that's how I look at it.
And what has your lawyer told you? Don't worry about that crap.
No, we are worrying about that crap. So
You sheep. You're a sheep. You're a follower. I'm with you. I'm totally with you. Like find somebody that's got more sense than you do and do what they do.
Yeah, yeah. That's well, especially because your lawyer's going to be the one that defends you on whether or not you're reliable for the athlete that showed up and got sick in your gym. So.
Well, it seems like
Right.
this is going to open a lot of people up to a lot of liability. I mean, you say, well, I can't install plexiglass in between every person that I sit next to because I can't afford it. And then ultimately down the line, when you have somebody who gets COVID and they come looking for money, they're going to come to you because you didn't install the plexiglass. So did it really cost that much money on the front end, or what would have been the right thing to do? So that's when you have to find somebody smarter than you and do what they tell you.
right.
I agree.
So Olive Branch CrossFit opened back up today.
No. We
Because they can't do all the things their
they gotta
lawyer
get all
is
that stuff in
recommending.
place.
we
yeah.
have to have all those things. Like we have orders out for hand sanitizer and masks and things like that we don't have. So you have to wait for those things to come in.
Yeah. Wow.
And we had orders out for that stuff before now. It's just like, who knows when it's going to get here.
Yeah.
Because everybody's out of it.
Is the toilet paper crisis over?
No, like you still can't buy toilet paper, I don't think.
Wow.
Man.
We went to Costco 2 weekends ago, and while we were in Costco, they wheeled out a pallet of toilet paper and like stuck it in the like freezer section where people wouldn't be looking for it.
Smart.
And within 5 minutes of them walking away from the pallet, people had grabbed it and taken all of it.
I don't go anywhere really but Kroger. We've gone to Sam's a couple of times. But every time I go to Kroger, that whole paper aisle is just empty. Like there's nothing there.
These are the craziest times, man. And
It's wild.
the hypocrisy of it all, and I'm speaking from personal experience, not necessarily everybody else, but it's just the whole mindset of we need to do certain things a certain way unless it affects me personally a certain way, then it's okay for that certain amount of time. And then it goes back to, and I'll give you an example of that. We're going to pick up the kids, and I stopped by Home Depot. And I'm in Home Depot, and I'm stink-eyeing everyone. I'm like, what the hell are all these people doing at Home Depot? Like, Home Depot is packed. Like, what's so important that you're at Home Depot? And I'm sitting there with bags of salt to put in my swimming pool so that it doesn't turn green. And then I immediately get in the car and I'm like, people aren't listening to this stuff.
What did I go in for? I went to Home Depot, or this was early on. I went in to get a spark plug for my lawn. I was trying to get a lawnmower started. I think that's what I was there for. I can't, or something to get my lawnmower started because I had to mow my yard. And I, like I said earlier, I walked in and there were so many people in there, and like one lady like bumped into me, and like, I tried to like walk down an aisle, and there's people standing in my way, and they wouldn't get out of the way, and I like started literally having this panic attack, and I just turned around and walked straight out to the car, and Holly was like, "What are you doing? You didn't get anything." I was like, "Take me home. Let's get out of here right now." There's so many people in here, but I think that's because I like following rules. Like if you say you're supposed to do something, do that thing that you're supposed to do. Like I'm a sheep. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
And the other reality is Vaughn would act that way around that many people anyways. So
Right,
There's probably a lot of truth to that.
but now that I know that you have an infectious disease,
I want to know how many times. I want Holly to tell me how many times Vaughn has gotten back in the car and said, "Just take me home," empty-handed.
pre-COVID.
This is not COVID
I don't
related
go to
at
the
all.
store to begin with. But now that you have an infectious disease, it makes it 100 times.
Well, I went yesterday to go pick up some pizzas that I called in at Papa John's right there by Kroger.
Necessary pizzas,
And I called it in.
and it was necessary.
Anyway, so
I'm with you on this.
he asked me to go get some 5-hour energies, and I wear a mask
Necessary.
when I go out, and nobody, I would say 20% of the people in public now are wearing masks. Everybody's taking them off, and I was like in a panic going through Kroger and tried to cut down the aisle, and people beating. I turn around, walk back out of that aisle, and then go down another one. And I was like, this is insane.
I just don't. I don't know why it bothers me so much, because like I know that we don't have to do it, and we don't want to be sheep or all this stuff. But they said stay 6 feet away from people. So when I go in the store, I'm going to stay 6 feet away from people. But if I'm 6 feet away from you and some ding dong walks between
I saw
us,
your tweet about
that's
this.
3 feet. Now we're all 3 feet away from each other. Do you not? Nobody is thinking of this. Like
Ding dong.
I'm like, hey man, you're like right in my space.
It's
now.
a 5-second rule, though.
Listen, they put stickers on the floor in the store where you're supposed to stand while you're checking out. And like I'm standing there, and this lady walks right in front of me and goes, "Are you in line?" And I'm like, it tells you right where to stand. Like I'm standing on the thing that says "stand right here," and there's a guy in front of me standing on the other one. And you come in between us and want to stand between. There's another sticker 6 feet away from me. Go stand on that.
Thirsty,
What?
that's the example that I'm talking about when you said the 5-second rule. I would, if it was walking between two people 6 feet apart and walking around the store for that brief period, I'd rationalize it and tell myself, like,
You've done it. We went somewhere, and you just started. I backed up to go down another aisle, and you're like, nah.
as long as I shrug my shoulders, like, excuse me, then that's okay. Like shrugging my shoulders and like ducking through there is going to somehow.
I take a deep breath. I don't breathe. You know, there's no harm.
Breathe outside your mouth.
I do that, but I also walk around through the pharmacy section and then around by the eggs and then go around by the meat and then make a right to go get my beer and get in line.
Oh man.
That reminds me, you're talking about beer. Memphis Made Brewing was raising money for local restaurant workers, and they did a fundraiser, and there were different levels, like, you know, put in this much and you get a case of beer, or no, put in this much, you get a t-shirt, put in this much, you get a t-shirt and a case of beer, put in this much, you get 2 t-shirts and a case of beer, and the beer is called Hug. And so I
cool.
donated, but I haven't gone and picked up my beer yet. They said the t-shirts will be ready in about a month, but you can come by whenever you want and get your beer.
Are they not delivering? I think.
I'm not in the city of Memphis. They can deliver in the city of Memphis,
most of them are delivering.
but I'm not in the city limits, so.
What else?
You said it's the 15th anniversary of Leroy Jenkins.
I did.
Leroy Jenkins.
How does a man come about that information?
The internet.
Reddit.
Well, there's a lot of things on the internet that don't necessarily go across your screen every day.
Scroll through Reddit.
Are you a Reddit guy every day?
Yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah.
What does your Reddit search history look like for a 24-hour period?
That you can talk about on a public
That
forum.
you can talk about on it.
Mine's pretty safe. It's web development. So when I first discovered Reddit, I wasted lots of days on Reddit, like looking at all the funny r/funny, like all the memes and all the stupid crap I could find. And then I realized I'm wasting a lot of time here. This was over 10 years ago or whenever it first came out. And then I realized you can filter your front page, right? So the things that you subscribe to are what you see when you log in on the front page. So you can have nerd stuff. Well, I have web development stuff. I have Star Wars, self-improvement, do-it-yourself, motivation. I have several of the Alcoholics Anonymous stuff, because I like reading those stories. Things are inspiring, right? That's what fills up my main feed. And
Interesting.
So I saw Leroy Jenkins was probably in some nerd group that I'm in.
That's funny.
Yeah, r/gaming I follow. So I think somebody said it was 15 years.
Speaking of gaming, our son got a VR Oculus headset.
Oh, wow.
The world that's our future. Have you seen Ready Player One?
Yes.
That is our future. There's, without question, I believe that will be our next opiate. Like, people will be satisfied just to plug in, need very little money to survive, and just sit behind one of those and go on vacation, or, the virtual sex thing will be out of hand.
Watch Westworld.
You can just do everything. I mean, we were playing this game. I fell over because I leaned on a box that wasn't, it's a virtual box. You get so into it, you don't even know where you are in the room.
Yeah.
Let alone the whole.
It's interesting to watch them in the middle of the living room.
It's almost scary. Yeah.
Yeah, Katie just reminded me of a show that we've been watching. It's a Amazon Prime show called Upload. And basically, as you're dying, they take a scan of your brain and upload you into a virtual world. And so you live.
That's the guy that
live
produced
forever.
The Office. I think that's his.
Okay.
I think that's his new show.
And yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Greg
Upload.
Daniels. I think Greg Daniels.
Holly reminded me that we watched a show called A Good Place. You heard of that?
I've heard of it.
This girl goes to heaven.
She accidentally goes to
heaven. And she's in this good place where everything's perfect and positive. And she's like, I wasn't really a good person. I don't think I'm supposed to be here.
Is it good?
And whenever she cusses, it automatically replaces the words coming in. She can't cuss, and so it'll say other words instead, and it's a funny show.
Is Upload scary?
No, not at all. It's
I want to see it. It sounded good when they were talking about it on their podcast.
Some of it's a little sad. I mean, it's because this guy, the main character, he gets into an accident and gets uploaded, and he's in his 20s or early 30s, and so he had this whole life ahead of him, and his girlfriend is paying for his account, so he's got to stay nice to her so that he can get all the upgrades he wants, in this virtual world. And so it's actually kind of sad. I mean, so you can kind of tell. I mean, it's just probably real life. Some people embrace it when they get uploaded, and they just love that alternate reality and getting to be able to do all the things that they wanted to do. And others are like, this is stupid. And they even talk about, a statistic of, 40% of uploads, end up erasing themselves within 2 or 3 months because they can't take it or something like that. So.
Wow.
The previews are funny, where it's
it's a
you'll
funny
have to direct
show.
me to that donut shop or whatever, and they spin them around.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a funny show.
Well, what is your Oculus thing hooked up to?
Nothing. It's self-contained.
So you hold these two remotes and you put it on, and they're
Doesn't
in the
go on a
living room
computer
just
or
doing
anything?
this, you know.
No,
No,
it is the computer
It's
itself.
it's all built
built
in.
in.
And when you hold this thing, you have virtual hands, and when you're getting set up for your game, like you're putting, floppy disks in the computer to play. I was playing that game where you have to shoot and make decisions. Nothing moves unless you do. So these people are coming at you, and you got to pick up guns and shoot and dodge their bullets or break their bullets. And it's just like, it's intense. Like I had to take the thing off because I was sweating so bad. I thought I was going to short out the Oculus.
So so Oculus is virtual reality. It's fully immersed. I really think that augmented reality is going to take a much bigger role.
What's the difference in that?
So augmented reality is the Microsoft HoloLens, where it's glasses that it imposes virtual objects and text and stuff in as you're looking at the real world. But HoloLens, like they're doing some surgeries with it and stuff like that, like where the doctor can go in and has the things and he's doing the things and he's controlling a robot like around the world.
Oh man!
Now I know Tupelo's got. I mean, it's not around the world, but Tupelo's got those ocular machines where they do surgeries. Where the doctors stand over in the corner and put their face into the thing, and they're using the machine to do surgery.
Yeah, what's the name? Isn't there a name for that particular machine?
I don't remember what it is though.
I saw something about that. Crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, I think in my mind, augmented reality is a much bigger deal, and when it becomes more accessible. So you heard about the Google Glass, a few years ago. So Google came out with glasses. And that's what it was, and it was. But it's the idea that, like, as I'm looking, at you, I can pull up all your social profiles, see your latest thing, whatever information I can get connected to publicly, I can see that and see about you. But then I could also look at the LHRL logo and it automatically provide me a link to the website or
like
the
Iron
latest
Man.
podcast. Very much like Iron Man. That is augmented reality.
Jarvis
Would
is up
you
in your
trade
head.
that if somebody said we can implant this augmented reality and you'll have access to all the free video games that you want? However, you have to sign this contract and like the government can keep track of you at all times. Would you do that?
Not video games.
Well, I mean,
I don't-
just the reality. You have access to this reality world, but you also have to give up your civil liberty of people knowing what you're doing.
I'm pretty sure we're already there with using the internet.
Yeah,
sure,
we're going that
yeah.
road. You watch Minority Report. What year did that movie come out?
That was in the 90s.
And like you walk into a store and it's like, "Hello, Mr. Rawls. Would you like to have another one of those pairs of pants that you had last week when you came?"
Yeah, I
in or
mean
whatever?"
we're not that far along, but I mean that's basically what's happening. You
that's
search
what
for
we're
something,
happening.
that you search for something, and then when you go to another site, it's offering you that thing that you looked
Right.
at.
And one billboard and you see a completely different one in the store. Like I'm walking down the street and I look at a billboard and there's something on there. But you might see an ad for Crocs. I'll see an ad for Air Jordan or something like that.
That's a good way to drive home a point. I got it. I'm interested.
Yeah, I mean that, and that's a great example of how augmented reality is really going to become more mainstay. Is it's going to be the kind of thing where here's why it's useful to you, but other companies are going to pay for you to have that thing because then they can advertise to you in special ways because they know about all your habits. They know what you're looking at that point. So even beyond what you're browsing, now they know what you're looking at, staring at all day. And they know where you spend your time because there's geolocation stuff built into it.
Did you know that you can't have your internet cut off right now?
Yeah, a lot of companies, like Verizon sends. I'm on unlimited data, so I don't know why they bother sending me the text. But they're like, "Oh, we've upgraded your data. You have this now instead of this," and it's like, I already had that, but okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of companies. Which is actually cool.
I thought that was really cool. I mean, you can go connect to the Xfinity Wi-Fi apparently
Anywhere.
even
Yep.
if you haven't paid your bill,
Well, even if you're not a customer,
even if you're not a customer.
you can use if there's an Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspot visible to you, you can use it right now.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Is that because of the COVID stuff?
Yep.
Okay.
But it's also because the internet is really important.
Yeah. Austin. I don't know if it's Austin City Schools or if it's a school district in or around Austin. They Wi-Fi enabled school buses and drove them to the like apartment complexes and neighborhoods where there are kids that were lower income families that couldn't afford internet, and just basically parked these buses out there, and the kids can have internet. So some of the kids are obviously too far away, like in an apartment complex or whatever, so they have to come out and hang out near the bus to be able to get to it. But like internet is really important right now in this environment, even more important now in this environment.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. That'd be a small sacrifice to get up and move closer to a bus to have internet. Grayson, our son, has a friend, and they were living and they moved to a new house, and their neighborhood was newly constructed, so they didn't have internet going to it yet. So the kid would walk around the neighborhood until he found, I don't know if he was looking for other people's Wi-Fi or if he was looking just for good signal. But in order to like contact Grayson the way that he wanted to, he'd have to wait and walk to a different place.
Dad, can I borrow an extension cord? I need to move the TV and the Xbox out close to the bus.
I wouldn't go any amount of time without internet. I would lose my mind.
It's funny. I saw, Nashville got hit by some pretty bad storms like a week or two ago, and a lot of people, I think, are still without power. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine being in this environment where you can't go out, can't go anywhere, and be without power?
Yeah.
So no TV at home.
No
And
people around you.
basically have to go get in your car and drive around for a couple hours to charge up your phone.
Ooh. Yeah, that's awful. All right. Well, we said we were going to do this for like 45 minutes, and we didn't. We've gone
I
over,
think it's like an hour.
but that's all right. I've
Sorry.
enjoyed it.
Sorry y'all couldn't hear us, but next week we will be a little bit better than this week.
And apparently I'm extra lower than everybody else.
I think that you are. That may be partially on my end. I didn't do a very good job of.
Beefcake didn't think you were going to be interesting, so he was
I
trying
got
Nobody nobody wants to hear what I have to say.
This whole thing threw
Not
me
true.
off. I was very thrown off. Everything's updated.
We did have technical. It's like we're cold and we're back now.
And OBS is new, so we had to update that. Facebook is completely new. I don't know what's going on with that. I think part of that probably has to do with like the settings there. Either way, we'll get it worked out. No problem.
We'll figure it out.
Next week,
All right.
because we're going to be doing this hopefully on the reg, unless Amanda
as
tells
long
us
as-
At least until there's another outbreak and
I was
Amanda
going to say,
says we can't come in.
as
here.
long as the reopenings of the world continues, we'll
Right,
continue
yep.
doing this.
same bat time, same bat place.
A little bit earlier next time.
Lift heavy, run long. Number 183
Yes.
is in the books.
Boom.